Give me small claps right now, small claps. All right, it is time for the stage rocker, the joke telling, gator wearing. All right, that's my homeboy, man. You've been doing comedy for about 5 years, traveling the whole world. We got a website, Buckles and Nuggets, man. I'm telling you, the podcast, thanks for Josh talking, it's the funniest thing I ever heard. Give me the claps, keep coming, keep coming. Y'all give it up for my homeboy. Give it up for Josh Watts.
What's up? How you doing? Right before I left here, that's not true. Earlier today, my wife came up to me and she said, "Hey Josh, I read a thing in a magazine I think we should try." Right there, nope, I should have backed out, but I didn't. I listened to her and she said, "It's called painting your feelings." She said, right. And she said, "I got some canvas and I got some paint. I'm going to go into one room, and I'm just going to paint out what I feel right now. You go into one room, and you paint out what you feel, and then we'll come together and we'll just talk it out. It'll be good for us." And my mouth said, "Sure." My brain said, "No. No." But I did it, and I brought the paintings here to show you tonight. We were separated for it was probably, I would like to say it was an hour, but it was like 3. I'm not very artistic. And when we got back, this is the painting that she brought out to show me. Right? And then she said, "This painting, if you look at it real close, you'll see the skies are blue, because blue makes me feel comfortable, kind of like our relationship. And if you see the yellow with the sunflowers right there, if you remember there were sunflowers in the field that we met at that summer camp, just basically, this painting makes me feel safe and secure, much like my relationship with you, because I love you so much." Where's yours? I may have misunderstood the assignment. But Josh Watts doesn't half-ass anything, I whole-ass everything. So I said, if you look right there, you'll see a skull because you make me feel dead inside. Right there is fire because when you open your stupid mouth, I want everything destroyed. If you see the little stick figures there that are burning to death, that's my youth, joy, and happiness. And if you look real close to the mouth written in blood, you can see "help me." So, you want to talk about that now? She did. A lot. She wanted to talk about it a lot. And I didn't. So I thought, she just kept, it was a lot of her talking. So I thought if I threw a vase, I've seen you throw a vase and shatters, they get quiet, then you say something cool and the fight's over. So I grabbed this vase, I threw it against the wall, and "Hey!" And she looked at me and I was like, "Oh, shit. I got a show tonight, I gotta go." And here I am. I've been married for, I don't know, some years. And my wife said that she's been talking about wanting to have children. I assume she means with me. I don't know. You're looking at it, it's like a 30-70 probably. And she said, if we had a little boy, what would you want to name him? And I was like, "That's easy, Optimus Prime, Hulk Watts." And she said, "I'm sorry, what did you just say?" And I was like, "That's Optimus Prime, Hulk Watts." And she said, "That kid would get beat up every single day of his life." I said, "Are you sure about that?" "What are Megatron and the Iron Sheik doing right now?" She laughed as hard as most of you in the crowd. And then she said, "If it's a girl." And I was like, "Oh, that's even easier. I'd name her Baby. Because I'm a terrible person. So I'm just going to follow her to school every day of her life. And then one glorious day, some teacher's going to have the audacity to tell her, 'You go stand in the corner.' And guess what? Daddy's there. I'm kicking that door. Hey! Nobody puts Baby in a corner! Right? From the movie we all saw! Nailed it! Nailed it! Nailed it! Nailed it! And then any reasonable teacher is going to say, "I'm sorry, did you just kick the door and scare the shit out of 32 second girls?" To make a Dirty Dancing joke? When did that movie come out? 1989? These kids' parents weren't born yet. What are you doing with your life? And I'll look right in the face and say, you know what, it doesn't matter. Because in the time of my life. And I'll just back out of the classroom. Because my taxes pay her salary. She's not the boss of me. Teachers in the audience, huh? I've learned I have a birthday coming up at the end of the month. Like 3 days or something, 4. I'm gonna be 35. I realized that at 35, I'm very stubborn about some things. Inflexible. And other things I don't care about. But the things they are surprise some people. Whoever you choose to marry or sleep with, I don't care. It has nothing to do with me. What church you want to go to doesn't bother me because I don't care. But I have ended lifelong friendships over people bad-mouthing the movie Grease and its soundtrack. You're wrong, and I won't stand for it. I don't need people like you in my life. Get out of my car. One of the things I have become a little bit more flexible on is I've decided the next time I do a drive-by, I'm going to use a water gun instead of regular gun. Because I'm a really good shot. If I drive by and shoot you, you're just like, ah, and then you're dead. You don't know why you got shot, and then my point's never made. You have no idea what you got shot for. So I'm going to drive around with a water gun, probably really cold water, and I'm going to ride up to you. When you stand out in front of your house with all your friends, I'm going to ride up and roll the window down. It's a Toyota Yaris. You'll never hear it coming. And I'll roll the windows down. And when I get the windows down, I'll lean out real slow with my super soaker. And I'll say, hey, you scratched my Fern Gully Blu-ray, you fuck! And then I'll spray in water. You're like, oh, shit! Ah, that was a big thing to do. And then you'll know why I spurted you with a water gun or was going to shoot you with a gun and kill you. I like Fern Gully. It's a good movie. Recipe problem. I forgot he was really dead. That wasn't good. His buckle was cinched. I have a niece. I have 2 nieces. I have 3 nieces. One of them is between 2 months and a year, somewhere. She's furniture. You just put her in a place and she stays there. I don't know much about her. We haven't really connected on any levels yet. But her name is Jazzy. And then I have a niece named Maddie who's 4 years old. Maddie's a beautiful child. We love her to death. We invite her to do things. I like to spend time with her. I read to her. I like to watch her grow as a person. Then I have another niece named Olivia who's 3 years old. And Olivia is a piece of shit. When I say that a 3-year-old is a piece of shit, some people get upset at that. But if you bear with me at the end, most people come up to me after the show and say, fuck that kid. And then I'm like, well, that's weird, because that's a real person, so that's a weird thing to just say to me. But I had to babysit my nieces one time, just to give you a little taste of what's going on here. And my in-laws have a swimming pool, and she said, just take them swimming. And I thought, oh, that's easy enough. So I got in the pool, and Maddie was sitting right next to me, and Olivia had her floaty floating by, and Maddie swam up to her with a water gun and said, Olivia, do you want to share this water gun? Because sharing is caring. And I was like, oh, that's really sweet. And then Olivia reached out and grabbed her pigtails and held her head underwater for 1 minute and 6 seconds. I know 1 minute and 6 seconds because that's how long it took me to get the fuck out of there. There's no way you look like me, find a drowned little girl in a swimming pool and think your week's going to turn out cool, because it's not at all. We've been beefing for a couple of years now. We're kind of the big and 2 block of the family. It's dividing the family in half. Not so much half. Most of the family sides of the 3-year-old, not the 35-year-old. I didn't see it coming. Stains, betrayals, and ugly color on my family. But I decided one day I'm just gonna have to be the bigger man here, and I'm just gonna squash this beef. And I'm just going to make everything cool in front of everybody, the whole family, so they see I want to bury the hatchet so that our family can grow and progress and be together as one. And then they'll also know that I'm better than that piece of shit in every way imaginable because I was willing to put aside my hatred for her. So I decided the day had come. We were having a crawfish boil with my in-laws, and I said, this is it. This is when I'm going to do it. When we pulled up at my in-laws, the whole family was sitting in a semicircle in the front yard. And Olivia was sitting in the middle, and she was throwing mud and rocks into a bucket full of water. And the whole family was watching her like she was cracking the goddamn Da Vinci Code. They were recording it. But when I got out of the car, I saw her, and have you ever hated somebody so much that the second you see them, your knees get weak? I got out of the car, I looked at it, oh, you fucking asshole. Jesus Christ. I hate everything about you. And she locked the little beady eyes on me. She stood up, the whole family saw, and she started skipping at me. Which is a dick move. I don't know if you've ever had anybody skipping you in front of a group of people. It's the weird, there's no normal way to react. I ended up dancing. I was like, oh. When she got close, she said, hey, Josh, did you see my gumbo? Just like that. And I leaned down, and I booped her on the nose. When I say boop, I pushed her. She was right in the fucking face. So I pushed her. But I knew this was my moment. This is the moment that I'm going to bury the hatchet and become the better man. Everybody's going to realize I'm better than her. So I leaned down, I made sure I was listening. I said, I did see your gumbo, Olivia, and it looks delicious. And I did finger guns. And then I stood up and I held my arms out to welcome the praise and admiration that was inevitably coming from my family. I assumed they were going to carry me out, so I started kind of leaning back so they could pick me up. And she looked me right in the face, and she said, huh, because you can't eat rocks, Josh. And then skipped away. You trifling bitch, the whole goddamn family is right fucking behind me right now. And now I look like some kind of asshole. Are you kidding me? They think I came here to watch a clown make balloon animals. I'm not impressed. He was at my party 2 weeks ago. This is stupid. This is coming down to fisticuffs with throwing dukes. She is getting both of these hands when I get back there. Woo! I found out she was in the back in the bouncy castle. And as I made my way through the backyard, I slapped birthday cake out of every child's hands I've had. That's what you get for being friends with her! When I got to the bouncy castle, I looked down and there was a sign that said, no gum, no shoes. And I'll tell you this right now, if you don't know this about me, there's 3 rules Josh Watts says about me. Money over everything. YOLO. Third and most importantly, fuck the police. So I put my shoes back on in the wet grass, and I put 3 sticks of gum in my mouth, and I climbed in there, and I wanted to find this piece of shit. And when I saw her, I slapped the cigarette out of her mouth, and I grabbed her by her shirt, pulled her, and I said, hey, what's your fucking problem? And before I could finish that, she had hit me in the back of the head with a bottle of wild turkey. She pulled me real close. So she looked around to make sure nobody was here. And I was like, if anybody's out there and they just saw you crack me with a bottle, they're not helping you, they're not gonna, so it doesn't matter. But she looked around and she pulled me in and she said, hey, why don't you tell me what the difference is between you and a giant pile of shit? And I was like, I don't know, 3-year-old little girl, why don't you tell me what the difference is between me and a giant pile of shit? She looked me right in my eyes with those beady, dead, soulless eyes of hers. And she said, you ain't shit. And then she stood up and she Sparta kicked me right out of the bouncy castle. My family thinks I'm dead. I had myself declared dead because I can never show my face there again. You guys have fun. My name is Josh Watts. Give it up for Howard.
Yeah, give it up for Josh Watts.